Well, it's a very warm welcome back to a second half independent off-tube studio commentary of the game at Vicarage Road. Second half is underway now. Watford trailing Brentford by 1-0. Christian Norgard giving Brentford the lead on 15 minutes. Didn't really see enough from Watford in that first half. They rallied after a positive start from Brentford in the first 5 minutes. Then Brentford scored during that period where Watford were actually playing quite well. And right at the start of the second half, Brentford are on the attack straight away now as the ball drops to Eriksen at the edge of the area. Hits the deck. No free kick, says referee Simon Hooper, and a chance now for Kiko Femenia to clear a ball down the right hand side, but he prefers to check that back towards Kabasele at the edge of the area before Foster clears it long. But for the remainder of the first half, didn't really see enough from Watford. Brentford themselves didn't create too many chances, but we need to see an improvement from the home side as the visitors lead by 1-0. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz and Harry Jones taking you through the action. Harry, Watford need to start positively in this second half.
Yeah, they do. I think their problem wasn't really defensively. I think they defended fairly well. They didn't really allow many opportunities to Brentford. I think it's going forward. They don't have sort of that player to bridge the gap between the midfield and the defence. They don't have that playmaker. They've got three fairly deep midfielders sitting in a flat three. I think it's not really working in their favour. They're struggling to bridge that gap between the attack and the midfield.
Well, here come Watford now down the right hand side. A cross coming in, and it's a ball that's looping over the bar in the end. Sissoko got himself into some space down the right hand side, but then gets his cross all wrong.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest of deliveries from Sissoko. He got himself into a nice area. He's done it a few times. He's occupying sort of that wide right role, giving Ismailia Sarr a bit of support down that right hand side, but he gets into the nice areas. But I think it's his delivery and his execution is never really there. He's not the most technically gifted player, but he does the hard work when you need him.
Absolutely, and Watford are going to need all that hard work in the second half. They've got a bit of possession now as Kabasele steps forward and then finds João Pedro at the edge of the area. He lays that ball off to Emmanuel Dennis. He whips the ball into the penalty area just behind the run of Sarr and of João Pedro. But certainly that's what we need to see more of from Watford. Just a little bit quicker in midfield. Try and do something just to put this Brentford defence under pressure, because they didn't do enough of that in the first half.
Yeah, no, it was a nice delivery into the area. It was really inviting, and it just glanced past Ismailia Sarr's head. I think they were a little bit unlucky that he didn't make any contact on the ball there. It really didn't really do any favours for the cross into the box, but it was a really nice ball.
Certainly was. It's 2-0 by the way now. Liverpool leading against Manchester City with Konate and Mane getting the 2 goals for Jurgen Klopp's side. And here at Vicarage Road, the ball is out for a throw down the right hand side here for Brentford. As Aya now waiting to restart play. Short throw from him, gets it in towards I thought there might have been a foul there on Vissa. Referee standing very close. I'll remind you of the two sides in just a second, but for the time being we're going to see this run down the left hand side here from Ismailia Sarr. He's got options, he checks in and then plays the ball to the edge of the area. Kuchka is there. That's good covering in the end from Pontus Jansson. Puts it out for a throw to Watford. Emmanuel Dennis takes it quickly himself. Goes back to Kamara. Zane Kamara under a bit of pressure. Square now to Louza. Back to Kamara and the ball laid all the way back into the Watford half. So it is Ben Foster in goal for Watford with a back four of Kiko Femenia, Christian Kabasele, Samir and Hassane Kamara. The three in midfield, Musa Sissoko, Imran Louza and Juraj Kuchka, with Ismailia Sarr, Emmanuel Dennis and João Pedro as the attacking three for Brentford. It is David Raya in goal with a back four of Christopher Aya, Pontus Jansson, Madsbek Sorensen, who came on for the injured Ethan Pinnock and Rico Henry. The three in midfield, Vitaly Janelt, Christian Norgard and Christian Eriksen, with Brian Mbumo, Johan Vissa and Ivan Toney as the attacking three. Watford in possession in midfield here with Louza, finds Kuchka. Kuchka having to track a long way back now towards the halfway line again, as Brentford doing what they can to press in midfield. At least Watford are seeing a bit more of the ball now as Samir steps forward. Under pressure there from Toney, does well to get away from him, plays it into Kuchka, over towards the right-hand side. Now a bit more space here for Kiko Femenia, who gets a good ball into the edge of the area, taken down by Sarr. 2 Brentford players on him straight away, goes back towards Kiko Femenia. Sarr again, tries to put a cross in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, not a bad idea. Emmanuel Dennis was lurking, but it's a good save from Raya.
Yeah, Raya did really well. I think he read the danger, he came out and claimed it really quickly, commanded his area, but it's a lot better from Watford here. We've seen them get into nicer areas. They're using the ball, they're utilising their space out wide. I think they're a little bit more creative than what we saw in the first half, not just sending long balls downfield. There's actually a bit of a planning behind their attacks now, and I think it's working out in their favour. They've started the better of the two sides in the second half.
They have, and so that's what they need to carry on here. 50 minutes gone. We've had 5 minutes of the second half, independent of Tube Studio commentary, and no change in this game, as indeed in the other games. Although there was a late goal for Norwich at Old Trafford, so Manchester United lead against Norwich by 2-1, and Southampton lead against Arsenal by 1-0. Here come Watford now with Ismailia Sarr at the edge of the area. Quickly picked off though by Johan Visser. He then leaves the ball for Rico Henry. And Brentford just taking a little bit of the speed out of the movement there. They could have tried to go on a quick counter, but Rico Henry just holds the ball up now. Leaves it for Mads Bech Sorensen. Then goes back towards David Raya, who again is in no rush here. No one really closing him down. Just plays it short to Norgard, who's dropped a bit deeper now. Brentford's goal scorer this afternoon now strides forward with the ball, gets to the halfway line, and then threads the ball through towards Vitaly Janelt, who then plays the ball off Sissoko to win his side a throw down the left-hand side, with Rico Henry stepping up to take it. Brentford are attacking the goal where their fans are in this second half. But they've not really had too much of an attack in these first 6 minutes. It's been a better start from Watford, but a long throw now from Rico Henry, headed on by Janelt, back towards trying to win that ball back there for Brentford was Visser, just a little bit too keen to do that though, and the referee gives Watford a free kick. Femenia takes it short to Samir. Moving now towards Hassane Kamara, and again Watford just a little bit slow in coming out from their own half. It's that difficult mix for Watford, I suppose. They don't want to play too slow because then there's a risk of losing the ball. But of course, if they play at this pace, then there's not going to be much chance of them getting forward. They've got some space here now, though, as Femenia goes towards Juraj Kučka. Really is a very busy midfielder on the left and on the right. This time on the right-hand side, takes the throw on quickly to try and get Emmanuel Dennis into the game. That's good defending though from Pontus Jansson and from Christian Eriksen, clearing that one out for a throw. Taken quickly, and Femenia now back towards the halfway line as Kabaseli to Samir to Louza, pressing here from Vitaly Janelt. Over now towards the right-hand side as Brentford now have a chance to go on the counter. Here is Janelt, gets that ball in towards Mbeumo. That's a strong challenge there, and so that's going to be a free kick to Brentford. We may even see our first card of the afternoon.
Yeah, he's really lucky there, Mbeumo, because he sort of lost the ball underneath his own feet. He sort of slipped over the first time ball was on. I think Brentford had an overlap on this left-hand side with Visser and Ivan Toney. They really could have threatened the Watford goal, but in the end, he didn't quite mess up the move as badly as we initially expected, because he managed to draw the foul. But yeah, that was a nasty challenge there from Hassane Kamara.
It was, and a free kick to Brentford now in a still quite a long way away from goal, but at least it gives them a chance to keep a little bit of possession inside the Watford half. At the end, it looks as though Kamara has avoided a booking on this occasion. So just waiting to see how this free kick is going to be taken. It's taking a little while to set this one up. As Watford now looking to try and get the ball back quickly, but it's taken. The ball is flicked into the penalty area. Ivan Toney, was he onside there? The flag doesn't go up. He puts a bit of a scuffed effort towards goal, and it just goes past the back post there. But difficult to say. We'll see from this replay now. Was Toney offside when this ball was played to him?
He could have been. I think if he's not, then he has to hit the target there. He really has to do better.
He does. I mean, it's a good ball, and Toney does well to get into that position, but he just drags it wide. I think if it had gone in, VAR would have been involved, because certainly it looked like it might have been a very close decision. And speaking of a close game, it's a close game at Old Trafford now, because Norwich have equalised. Teemu Pukki, Norwich scored an injury time at the end of the first half to make it 2-1, and now 7 minutes into the second half, Teemu Pukki has made it 2-2. So problems continuing at Old Trafford, as here come Watford now with Kučka, gets a ball to the edge of the area. Dennis tries to flick it up, but he couldn't control it once it got into the box. And now a chance here for Henry, but he couldn't get a clearance in, and Sissoko puts a cross in, which is picked up on the far post by Dennis, who smashes it in from close range. And that is the equaliser for Watford on 55 minutes. Emmanuel Dennis had a bit of time and is able to find the top corner. Brentford just not really picking him up there inside the penalty area.
Yeah, you can see how much that means to Watford and Emmanuel Dennis. It's a fantastic goal, and it's a massive goal in their season as well. You can see him trying to lift up the spirits of the fans. He's running back to the centre circle. He wants to get back underway. He's a true professional there, Emmanuel Dennis, but what a finish it was. It fell to him kindly at the back post. Not the best of defending from Brentford to clear their lines. It is bobbling in and around the area for some time. The first delivery comes in. It's a nice ball, but really well flicked on there by Ismailia Sarr. Just beats the defender to the header, falls to Dennis at the back post, completely unmarked, and he slams it home and gets Watford right back into this tie.
I'll tell you what, the TV pictures we're getting in our studio, Harry, as soon as that goal was scored, the camera focused on the linesman. Now, this is because Dennis isn't offside, not a chance, but Ismailia Sarr could have been offside when that ball was played to him from the right-hand side. I don't think he is. I think we've just seen the green line on the VAR replay, so it tells me that this is more than likely going to be adjudged to be onside. But we're just having a sort of a second double check here. The referee has, I take it back. It's no, it has been given as a goal. So I couldn't really understand why Simon Hooper did the little VAR box if he's not going to change his decision. But it is an equaliser for Watford on 54 minutes. As I say, there was never any doubt about the goal scorer being offside. It was just a question of whether, when that ball was played in from the right-hand side, whether Sarr was in an offside position. But we can see now that he wasn't. Yeah,
it's a fantastic goal now. It has actually been given. We can say that now. It is a great goal from Dennis, and it's a massive goal for their season. I think they've deserved it in the second half. They've really penned back Brentford, and they've gone on the attack, and they've done what they needed to do. They've changed what they needed to change from the first half. They weren't attacking enough. They weren't attacking with enough promise, and now they look like a team that wants to score goals, and they've got their reward.
Yeah, absolutely. The home fans would have woken up by that. Just to say as well, there was a VAR review at Old Trafford, but that has now been and gone, and the goal hasn't been chalked off. So it is Manchester United 2, Norwich City 2. And it's Watford 1, Brentford 1 here at Vicarage Road. A game back underway now. And a long clearance from Rico Henry doesn't quite reach Ivan Toney. It's now with Christian Kabasele. And it'll be interesting to see how this game develops now, whether Watford will now kick on and try and go for 3 points, because really a draw in this game doesn't help Watford anyway. They need to have to try and win it if they can. And it's ball bouncing inside the Watford half now as Kamara tries to get away from Mbeumo, and he does. It's a great run this from Kamara. Runs straight into a Christian Norgard though, and then Janelt picks the ball off him. The advantage had been and gone, and here come Brentford now down the left-hand side with Janelt getting towards the edge of the area, then leaves the ball here for Eriksen. It's now with Aya over towards Mbeumo, right-hand edge of the penalty area, puts a cross in, which is quickly volleyed clear by Samir. Back over towards the right-hand side. It will be a throw to Brentford now. There's Emmanuel Dennis, of course. Every second counts here for Watford, so he does the necessary in getting that throw towards Mbeumo. Then there's a bit of a to-do as to where the throw-on is supposed to be taken from. But I can tell you as well that Liverpool have a third goal before half-time at Wembley. Mane with his second goal of the afternoon. City have made a few changes, including having their second keeper in goal today, Zach Steffen, and I just wonder if maybe they've made a few changes too many. I
think they have. I think you don't want to upset a winning side, and they've brought in multiple changes. They've brought in Zinchenko at left back. Obviously Nathan Ake is playing at centre back. The experienced Fernandinho, he's coming towards the end of his career, said he's going to leave Manchester City this year. He's dropped in defensive midfield, so they made all those changes. Kevin De Bruyne on the bench. I think it's really affected them. Obviously, clearly it's affected them in this match as Liverpool are running riot, but Liverpool came out there and they're making a statement. Jurgen Klopp fielded a full strength side. He's showing that he's taking the competition seriously, and he wants to see Man City off before half time.
Absolutely, yes, and he's still chasing that, or potentially the quadruple seemed out of reach, but the way that these games have gone over the season, they could still be drop points in the Premier League, even though the two big sides drew last weekend. A throw on to Brentford, though. You can see that Pinnock is missing badly there, because that throw from Mads Bech Sorensen was far too short. Watford are able to clear their lines, and now they can go on a counter-attack as João Pedro tries an early ball from the right-hand side, trying to get to the edge of the area. That one is easily dealt with. Now Brentford have a chance to go on the attack, but the ball down the left here for Mbeumo to chase is far too long. Kiko Femenia easily able to cut that one out, gets the ball in towards Kuchka. Back towards Kiko Femenia, who clears it up towards the halfway line. Now Rico Henry heads it on, the ball drops towards Kabasele, but that's a long clearance without even thinking about passing it really, and that will get through all the way towards David Raya. So Brentford starting again just at the edge of their own penalty area. Say just the one sub so far in the game, and that was enforced with Ethan Pinnock having an injury in the first half. Sorensen replacing him. See if either manager is thinking about making another change. But here come Brentford now down the left-hand side. Visser is winning his side a throw on there. I don't think he was ever after the free kick. There's Visser and Kamara, two rivals from the African nations. Visser, a DR Congo player, and Kamara is Senegalese. But it's going to be Madsbæk Sorensen now, Danish centre-back for Brentford, to take this throw. Didn't get to enough distance, didn't anywhere near enough distance on that last throw. Let's see if he's got a better throw this time. That is a better throw. It does reach the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed on. It's dropping just underneath the crossbar. But saying that, Ben Foster was always underneath it.
Yeah, it was almost a carbon copy, wasn't it, of the first goal from Brentford early on in the match. But you just see a shot there of Ben Foster being put under pressure as he tries to take his goal kick.
Yeah, Brentford accidentally on purpose there. I think Norgard and a couple of other players sort of ran into the path of Foster as he was trying to punt it out of his hands. And it's one of those where you're probably not going to get a booking, but at the same time you stop a quick clearance from the opposition goalkeeper. So I'm sure Norgard knew exactly what he was doing there, because it happens to Brentford quite a lot. David Raya likes to kick that ball out early as well, and he's often having to deal with opposition players trying to slow him down. But a long clearance now down the right-hand side gives Watford half a chance here as Ismailia Sarr puts Rico Henry under pressure. He deals well with it though. Rico Henry does clear the ball, doesn't let it go out for a corner. Comes straight back towards the right-hand edge of the Brentford penalty area. Sissoko just about got away from Henry, but then he couldn't keep the ball in play himself. So it's out now for a throw to Brentford down the left-hand side.
I think Brentford just need to settle the game down now. They've gone one down. They've been second best in the second half, and I think they need to settle the play down, enjoy some possession, and do what they were doing in the first half, and just break down this Watford side, because the goals will come. Watford's defence is nothing short of leaky. If you keep putting the pressure on, eventually they'll crack.
Absolutely. Well, Brentford's defence isn't the most steadfast either, and they've given a free kick away in a pretty dangerous position there. I'm all for strikers like Ivan Toney coming back to the edge of his own box to help in defence, but if he's going to trip Kuchka up like that, it never really looked like winning the ball. That's just an easy free kick for Watford. Yeah,
it's a silly foul to give away in that sort of area against the side who have some decent free kick takers. Imran Louza likes to take a free kick. Kiko Femenia offers a right-footed option. But yeah, it's silly. Like you said, you want your strikers to work and track back. It's the best sign when you see your striker running back to put in a defensive shift, but it's a silly foul to give away.
Yeah, Tony won't be too impressed with that's for sure. And neither will his teammates as he now steps back. We just saw a little yellow graphic flash up on the screen. I can't believe that Tony would have been booked for that, but confirm that if he was. Can confirm that Kamara was actually booked for that challenge earlier. We didn't get that displayed on our screen, the TV pictures that we're getting here off Tube Studio Commentary, but there was a booking for Kamara, so we have had one yellow card in the game, but it is a free kick to Watford, and it's in a good position, and left-footed Imran Louza certainly fancies this. It's just slightly over on the right-hand side. His effort is stopped by the wall. There's a follow-up effort which is also charged down, and then a third and final effort there coming in from the left-hand side of the box from Ismailia Sarr, but he's barely tapped that one in the end. It's easy for Raya.
Yeah, there's a couple of efforts there. I think Cabaselli had one as it fell to him on the edge of the box. He tried to hit first time volley. It was well blocked by Brentford. They did well. They were regimented and stood in the way, and they didn't crumble, which is nice to see. But Watford once again piling on the pressure there.
They are. Brentford insisting on playing out from the back, and the fact that Watford have now worked that out, that Brentford are always going to try and take a short goal kick, means they're always going to leave a few players further forward as they've tried to work an opening here down the right-hand side. Now it's with Emmanuel Dennis. Just holds the ball up. Looks left and right before threading a ball in towards João Pedro. Back to Dennis, who gets all the way to the byline, puts a cross in, which is charged down. Dennis has gone down holding his head. Not entirely sure what's happened to him there, but it should be a Watford corner.
Yeah, it should be. It was really nice play there from Dennis. Made the 1-2, baited the defender into committing to the first challenge. He skipped away, got to the byline, tried to put the ball into the box. It was well blocked by Rico Henry, but Dennis is looking ever lively. Yeah, it's an outswinger that swings out too much. It eludes everyone inside the penalty area. Ismailia Sarr now trying to keep the ball alive on the left-hand edge of the box. Under pressure there from Johan Visser. Just holds it up before laying it off towards Kamara. Kamara with his trusty left foot trying to find an angle for a cross. Goes all the way to the line and then does stand up across into the penalty area. Not taken by João Pedro, but it drops to... well, there's a decent striker coming in there from Samir. Brazilian still up after the set piece, and it dropped invitingly to him. It's just wide of the goal in the end. Yeah, it's a fantastic effort. It's not often you see a centre-back taking it off their chest and lining up a volley, is it? But he really struck it well. He got some good power behind it, directed it low into the corner, tried to beat David Raya at his near side, but just dragged it wide, and can't really have any complaints when it's a centre-back pulling off efforts like that.
No, absolutely not. I think you've got to be pleased that he was able to do that. As a long clearance now from Raya. This time they do take a long goal kick, Brentford, eventually. Now it's played on by Jan out towards Eriksen, whose ball is a long way behind Brian and Bumo. He's just been a little bit off with his passing this afternoon, Christian Eriksen. A couple of the long balls that you'd normally expect from him to be absolutely precise have just been a little bit off target. Meanwhile, Brentford going to make their second change. It's the Iranian international Sam Ghoddos getting ready to come on. Just waiting to see who he would be replacing here. It's likely to be one of the attacking three, and it's Johan Visser that's getting the hook.
Yeah, I think Visser's had a fairly quiet game. He's looked quite lively in patches, but as a whole, I think he's really struggled to get a foothold in the game. I think all three of Brentford's attackers, apart from maybe Tony, who's been dropping in deep a couple of times to receive the ball, they haven't really created too many opportunities in the final third.
Well, certainly not in the second half. I think Brentford have been a little bit starved of the ball in that final third, and Ghoddos is more of a midfielder that can play in an attacking position, as opposed to Visser, who's a forward playing in a winger's role. So I think maybe he's probably thinking Thomas Frankie probably wants an even steadier ball player there in that attacking three, just to try and help Brentford with a little bit of possession. 66 minutes gone. Independent off-tube studio commentary. It's Watford 1, Brentford 1. Watford have had 8 efforts on goal in the first half and 5 in the second. Brentford had 11 in the first half but just 1 in the second. That's where the difference is, and they're trying to go on the attack now. A ball to Mbumo at the edge of the area. Won't reach him though. Long clearance down the Watford left. Goes out for a throw to Brentford. Pontus Jansson should have perhaps taken it quickly. He's waiting for everyone to come back now. And it's going to be Christopher Ayer to take this throw from the right-hand side. No change in any of the other scores. It's still 2-2 between Manchester United and Norwich City, and it's still Southampton 1, Arsenal 0. It's half-time now at Wembley Stadium in the FA Cup semi-final, where it's Manchester City 0, Liverpool 3. And a free kick now to Brentford on the halfway line, taken short towards Sorensen. Rico Henry now down the left-hand side. He's it in towards Eriksen down the left here as Ghoddos trying to get away from Kabasele. Kabasele's too strong for him though. And back now inside at the edge of his own penalty area. They're trying to get a move started was Kiko Femenia. Does at least win his side the throw. Try and get this ball away as far as possible from his own penalty area, albeit the referee just calling him back. I always say it's the easiest defence to get away with on a football pitch is where the throw-on is supposed to be taken from. Used to be, that and time wasting, of course, as well. I mean, that you can get away with all sorts. Never really get all that time back at the end of the game. But João Pedro there, judged to have given a foul away. Brazilians not too happy with that, but Brentford certainly won't mind because it just slows the game down. And the free kick taken now towards the edge of the area, headed away from Ghoddos, who's waiting for it inside the box. It's with Louza now at the edge of his own penalty area, trying to turn away from Eriksen. He feels as though he might have been fouled as he was giving that ball away. No free kick given. And you can see Louza is absolutely furious with that decision. Eriksen now to Rico Henry. So the ball volleyed clear by Louza up towards the halfway line, where Pontus Jansson now has the ball for Brentford. We're at the 3-quarter mark in this game. 68 minutes gone. It is Watford 1, Brentford 1, and it will be Harry to take us through to full time. Yeah,
Brentford coming forward once again in a spell of attacking, and Bowen nearly skips away from Kamara. In the end, the defender did enough just to put him off. Ball rolls through all the way back to Ben Foster in goal, who has it in his hands. Brings it towards the edge of his box and rolls it down, and he's eager to get his players into a more forward position. He sends a long ball down headed, nestled by Pontus Jansson straight into the feet of Kuchka. Then the two collide and are coming together. Referee's blown his whistle. Jansson on the floor in a spot of pain. Just a clash of knees there, and one player always comes off worse in those situations. This time it was the Swede's turn. He's back to his feet though, Jansson.
Yep, just needed a moment to pick himself up there. He's missed a few games recently, Jansson, with injury, but back in the side today. Club captain just trying to get a bit of movement back into that leg. He should be okay to play on, just looking at him.
Yeah, he's back to his feet and happy to continue. David Raya getting the game back underway with a free kick straight into the once injured Jansson. He plays a direct ball into Mbeumo, who's found a bit of space out on the right hand side for Ivan Toney. Tries to find Mbeumo once again. This time it was blocked by Kamara. Toney going over to retrieve the throw. I'm sure he will want to leave it for a teammate there and get himself into a more attacking position. He does do so in the end. And Mbeumo linking up nicely down the right hand side to force the throw in. Throw goes into Mbeumo. Nestles it down to Norgard. He's tried to switch play over to the left hand side to Rico. The attack fell a little bit flat there as the ball into Rico was a little bit behind the defender. And here comes Jansson moving forward, plays the ball into Mbeumo, slips himself, but he's back to his feet, and Mbeumo tries to nestle the ball in field. Janelt tries to head it down, Louza picks things up, and now Ismailia Sarr has been unlocked on the left hand side. Can Watford counter attack? No, they can't. They're stopped in their tracks. Really good defending there and tracking back from Buan and Mbeumo. It's out on the right hand side. Now with Ayer, goes back into Norgard, and now with Jansson, they're looking to spread play back to this left hand side now. Brentford, it was getting a little bit tight and compact over on the right hand side. Eriksen goes back into Norgard, looks to go for a quick switch over the top of the defence, but just pulls the plug on that one. And now he does try to go for the direct ball into the feet of Godos. It's been picked up by Watford, and now Ismailia Sarr looking to make inroads on the Brentford defenders. Sarr brought down there. It'll be a free kick in favour of Watford.
Yes, Sam Godos is the guilty party here. And Christian Eriksen just asking on behalf of his teammate if that definitely was a foul. Well, there's an argument to say that he's winning the ball initially, but I think there's a second sort of little foot out there from Godos, which doesn't seem to get any contact with the ball at all.
Yeah, now Watford have a good opportunity to send more bodies into the box. Here's Imran Louza, who's standing over it. And the left-footed option. Roy Hodgson now firmly back into his seat after spending the most of the first half standing right by the touchline, but the ball was delivered in, headed away, picked up by Toney. Tries to send the ball down the line for Godos to chase, but in the end, it'll ricochet off the Watford defender. Out for a throw. Rico Henry with the ball in hand goes into the feet of Norgard, and now back with Sorensen. Jansson looks to spread play to the right hand side, and it'd be a massive result for Watford if they did manage to grab a second. They've got the worst home record in the division. They've not won on home soil since beating Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United back in November, that fantastic 4-1 win. Since then, they haven't seen a result at Vicarage Road.
Yeah, it has been a problem. The home form is always an issue. There have been a couple of exceptions where teams have stayed up having slightly better away form, but generally speaking, you need the home team, certainly when you're playing the Big Six, you need the home team to have a bit of an off day as well, I think, to try and get results at those grounds. And if you start relying on points away from home more than points at home, I think it's a slippery slope. So from Watford's point of view, a win here is essential, really. And they certainly seem to have got Brentford on the ropes, because there's a lot more possession in midfield without really Brentford able to get forward.
Yeah, they are coming forward now. Brentford tried to find Ivan Toney. He's put under pressure by Christian Cabaselli. Sent along by Ben Foster down towards the left-hand side. Sarr tries to twist and turn away from Ayer, but the defender does really well in the end, just to hold off Emmanuel Dennis. And it is with Ayer in his hands. Did well to stop that counter-attack from mounting. It looked like Dennis was making inroads on the defences. It's time for Brentford to make another substitution. This time, Janelt has gone off, and it is Jensen, the man to replace him in the midfield.
So Matthias Jensen comes on. So it's a Danish international trio for Brentford in that central midfield now, with Eriksen, Norgard, and Jensen now joining them. As Thomas Frank just looking to try and freshen up that midfield a little bit.
Yeah, some fresh legs just to regain a bit of control in the midfield, which they seem to have lost in the second half. Brentford, they're not utilising the likes of Christian Eriksen, and Ivan Toney goes for an effort from range there, and it almost flies in from about 45 yards. He turns away from the defender. It was an audacious attempt. He hit it on the volley. It almost looped into the back of the net. It completely beaten Ben Foster, and what a goal that could have been.
Would have been one of the goals of the season, that, from Ivan Toney. Made his mind up very quickly without ever seemingly looking at where the goal is. He sort of just instinctively knew. Long ball played up to him from Ayer. It drops just next to the Watford defender, Cabaselli. Then he just turns away from him and hits it, elevating it on the volley. But in the end, it was bouncing away from goal. But Foster was nowhere if that was on target.
Yeah, Foster planted on his spot. Ball flew over his head, but luckily for the experienced goalkeeper, it just shaved past the post and went wide. Could have been a huge goal for both of these sides' seasons. I mean, Brentford's, we spoke earlier about them maybe just needed one more win to secure safety. I think that may be a little bit of an exaggeration. I feel like Brentford are a side who you could look at now and say they're probably safe, and now looking, obviously with their most recent results, picked up some good results.
Well, I mean, I suppose you could say that if they were to draw this game, they'll be level on points with Palace, and Palace haven't really been talked about as relegation rivals, so on that basis you could say that they are getting close to being safe. Here comes Mbeumo now with a great run for Brentford, just stopped on the line as he won his side a corner. He has, despite the fact that Samir is demanding a goal kick. It is going to be a corner to Brentford.
Yeah, another good opportunity for Brentford to throw bodies into the box. Samir, the man, putting pressure on Mbeumo. It does come off the foot of Samir, so it will be a corner on the far side. Brentford slowly but surely growing back into this game now. They've had a little bit of a lease of life in the last 5 or so minutes. Christian Eriksen, the man to stand over the corner kick on the far side. It'll be a right-footed out-swinging ball. A train of white shirts in the penalty area looking to get on the end of it. Eriksen does deliver towards Jansson. It's headed away. Danger not dealt with just yet. It's Emmanuel Dennis. He's keeping the ball in play with his head. A hat-trick of headers there from Dennis, and he still can't quite clear the danger, and this is looking ropey from Watford, and Kamara just about manages to clear the ball down the line. It will go out for a Brentford throw on the far side, and they're under pressure.
Yeah, well, I mean, have they got a bit of luck here, Watford? Have they managed to get at least a bit of a deflection off the Brentford man as they were clearing it? Because really they were having problems there in doing anything to get that ball away from their own penalty area. And Brentford really were starting to pile on the pressure, but now long throw from Kamara can at least give Watford a second of respite. But even before the halfway line, they lose possession again. Yeah,
it's now with Jensen, who turns away from Louza, lays it off to Christian Eriksen. He finds Rico Henry on this left-hand side. Will he deliver a ball into the box? He will. It's all the way towards the back post, taken down by Mbeumo really nicely on the chest. It's actually Godos who takes it down there. He did well to keep it alive, but in the end he's run out of play, and past the byline it will be a Watford goal kick. Ben Foster going to claim the ball.
So just to tell you as well that it could potentially be a game on at, well, I say game on, at least City are starting the comeback on 47 minutes. They're a couple of minutes into the second half. Jack Grealish with the goal for City, as Manchester United now take a 3-2 lead at home to Norwich. Yeah,
Godos actually forcing a corner there from that last passage of play. So it will be delivered by Eriksen towards Jansson once again. Headed away just about by Watford. The danger isn't cleared, and Mbeumo sends another ball into the box, and that one's cleared straight back to Mbeumo once again. Watford really struggling to clear their lines there as Brentford have another chance to send a long throw in.
Yeah, and Mbeumo was easy had enough time to control that and cross it in himself, but he thought, well, we've got a couple of long throw specialists. Mads Beck, Sorensen now over to his left-hand side, trying to launch this one towards goal.
Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo completes a hat-trick as he sends his side into the lead once again. 3-2 at Old Trafford as the throw-in is sent in towards the area. Back down towards Sorensen. He sends another ball into the box, and it's a great header from Jansson, but an even better save from Ben Foster to deny the Swedish captain. There's massive chance in the game.
It is, yeah. It's a good header there from Pontus Jansson. He got a nice angle on that cross, and it seemed to be eluding Ben Foster. It might just be that it didn't quite have the power, though, and Foster was able to almost make that save standing up, but he had to move very quickly over towards his back post to make sure he had that covered. Watford now need to respond with some attacking possession of their own.
Yeah, it was a really good save there from Ben Foster. Did well not to parry it back into danger. He got a good catch just to completely kill off that attack from Brentford, but they're back in possession, the Bees. Slowly growing into this second half. They haven't got much time left if they do want to grab a winner. 79 minutes played at Vicarage Road. It's unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Christian Eriksen twisting and turning away from Kuchka, just trying to open up a gap in this Watford defence. He does go for a long ball now, Eriksen, towards this left-hand side. Headed away by Kiko Femenia. It'll be a Brentford throw. Rico Henry with the ball in hand. Throws it in direct towards the feet of Ivan Toney. He lays it off towards Christian Eriksen. He tries to find Mbeumo, but dispossessed, and now Emmanuel Dennis looks to make inroads down the left-hand side, just slips there and loses the ball underneath his feet, and then he's dispossessed. Really unlucky from the Nigerian. It seems as though a couple of players have been slipping on the surface at Vicarage Road this afternoon, but that's down to the boots or the groundsman, we'll never know. But Watford back in possession, a long clearance from Kamara, downfield, picked up in the middle of the park and fed across towards Sorensen now, deep inside the Brentford half. Goes in towards the feet of Norgard. It's back to Pontus Jansson, now all the way back in towards their own penalty area to David Raya. Watford doing well to just push this Brentford side back, and it's a poor pass there from Norgard. Almost led to a good opportunity for Watford, but fortuitously the first touch was very heavy out on the left hand side from Dennis, and they pick the ball up once again. Samir goes all the way back to Ben Foster. Long clearance downfield, headed down by Louza. Kuchka just holding off Rico Henry really well there. Good strength from the Watford midfielder. Louza trying to skip away from the oncoming Henry. Tries a ball over the top, looking for a run of João Pedro, but that was a poor ball in the end, and it rolls all the way back to David Raya.
It does, yeah, for all that build-up in midfield to just send the diagonal ball, which never really looked close to picking out a Watford teammate, is a bit of a waste, and that certainly won't impress Roy Hodgson. And in fairness, barring a couple of balls whipped in, Watford haven't really looked like getting a second in this game since they got their equaliser. Brentford have had some attacking possession, but they've not really done too much to test Foster, barring that header from Jansson.
Yeah, they've got to throw in once again on the far side. Jensen leaving it unpresumably for one of the defenders for a long throw. That's where they enjoyed their first bit of fortune in the first half. Can they repeat the same? Sorensen goes over to just wipe the ball down underneath his shirt, ensuring maximum grip on the ball. Jensen up in the area, Ayer in the area. Ivan Toney's there lurking around. The throw-in is a poor one there from Sorensen. It doesn't beat the first man, but it falls back to him. He lays it off short towards Eriksen. He goes for an effort from range. Looked like he was gearing up for a pass there, but he went for a shot. It was blocked. Buemu trying to put the defender under pressure. Headed down towards Kuchka. Now Watford really just trying to clear their lines here. Ismailia Sarr does well to feed it down the line towards Musa Sissoko. Skips inside from Rico Henry. Tries to slot a nice ball in behind the defence, and another slit there from a Brentford defender. Now Pedro managing to keep it there. He takes the throw in quickly into Sissoko. Back to Pedro once again. Moving further infield here. João Pedro lays it off to Ismailia Sarr. Back into Pedro again. And now Sissoko finds Familia. Head up, looks for a ball into the box. It's a delivery. It's a really deep delivery. And will it be kept in by Dennis? Yes, it will. Can he keep it away from Godos, though, who just ricochets the ball off his own boot onto Dennis? But the referee blows his whistle, I think. Godos has won his side a foul right on the byline.
He has, yeah, just coming back towards the edge of his own penalty area. Just a little bit of contact with him there, and that was enough to convince the referee. Well, Watford haven't made any changes up to now, but it looks like they're going to make a double, if not a triple change. Certainly a double. We can see, looks like Josh King and Tom Clever getting ready to come on.
Two sides. Roy Hodgson would hope to make an impact in the remaining 7 minutes of normal time that we've got to play. The players to go off will be João Pedro, so it'll be Josh King, presumably straight swap down the middle.
Could be. It could be that they asked Dennis now to go through the middle with King playing out wide. He can do either role quite well, really. I don't think he would have too much of a preference. He would fulfill either role that Roy Hodgson asked of him. Tom Cleverley is the other player to come on. I just wonder who the second player to go off, who it's going to be. Is that
Kuchka?
It is Kuchka, yeah.
Tom Cleverley, experienced body former Manchester United midfielder, coming on to replace Kuchka, who's had a fairly good game. He's had a very dominating presence in the middle of the park, been very physical, but maybe at a time Roy Hodgson wants to see a touch of class into the field. With Tom Cleverley, we know he's very good on the ball, he's a good passer, and he can pick them gaps in the defence of Brentford. But here they come once again, Brentford, trying to find Ivan Toney, cleared by Cabaselli. Gone over the head of Rico Henry, picked up by King for his first couple of touches on the ball. He's backpedaling away from goal. Goes in field and finds Imran Louza. Back out wide towards Cleverley, who's back on the ball. Tries to find the other recent introduction, Josh King, and in the end it almost runs through to him as Sorensen was pedalling backwards.
He was, yeah, and that was a very good ball from Cleverley. That would have certainly been an excellent link up there between the two subs. Would have been an inspired substitution from Roy Hodgson if that pass from Cleverly had found King and then he was able to get a shot away and find the goal. But in the end, passed just a little bit too long and Araya was able to get on the end of it. His clearance ends up being a good ball to Mbeumo.
Yeah, Brentford back in possession in the middle of the park. But at what point would you think that Roy Hodgson would start to just say, you know what, we've got to manage this game well and maybe just see it out for the draw? So they've got massive fixtures coming up, the likes of Burnley coming up towards the end of the month. At what point would Roy Hodgson be happy with a draw from this game?
I think that it's one of those where he would probably be pragmatic and say, well, if we risk too much and lose this game, that could really dent our confidence. A draw is at least a point at home, and then it lets us build on the next games. I think it probably would be something like that. I'm not sure that that he would say that he would ever settle for a draw, but I think if it's a case of risking too much. That said, though, Brentford are giving Watford the space, and the home side are taking advantage. They're going forward again. Yeah,
once again out on the left-hand side, slotted back towards Cleverly. Tries the first time, ball into the box, and that's headed away well by Brentford, and they're just about clearing the danger, but that's a poor clearance from Jensen. Ball delivered back into the box. David Raya comes out with a spectacular punch to deny Josh King an opportunity. It's now on the right hand side, finding its way to Cabaselli. Louza goes all the way back to Samir. Now Kamara back on the ball. 86 minutes played at Vicarage Road. Nothing able to split the sides just yet. Brentford did take the lead early on, but Watford came back in the second half with a well-worked goal from Emmanuel Dennis, but they come again. He is with the goal scorer Dennis, cuts back on the right foot. Will he go for an effort? He's just tackled there by Norgard. Good defending in the end, and cleared by Ayer. Down the line, it won't stay in play though. It's just drifted out, and it seems as though Imran Louza has received a booking from a challenge earlier on. We should see a replay of that one. I think it was when he cleaned out Pontus Jansson. He went right through Pontus Jansson, who's still got a problem here now after all that time. And the referee allowed play to go on, but this was a bad challenge from Louza. Pontus Jansson was clearly there first, and Louza, in fairness, doesn't sort of catch him with that right foot, sort of with the raised foot, but he does take Pontus Jansson out pretty much, and that's convinced the referee. As have we had a head injury here? Because seems like Craig Cathcart's onto the field.
Cathcart is onto the field. I didn't see who he replaced.
Femenia.
It is Femenia. So no, there was no head injury there. Kicker Femenia just being replaced. So that just shows you that Roy Hodgson, I think, is plumping for the point, because Femenia is a right-sided defender who likes to bomb forward. Craig Cathcart is pretty much a centre-back. Yeah,
Craig Cathcart, he can fill in the right-back role, and if needs be, but I think that does cement Roy Hodgson's thinking that I think he would like to see a draw here rather than go for all 3 points and end up.
Yeah, well, Pontus Jansson just losing his head there a little bit, might still be a little bit fired up after that foul he suffered a moment ago, but in trying to win the ball there, a bit clumsy in the way he falls into Ismailia Sarr twice, really, and an easy decision there for the referee to give the free kick.
Yeah, it's a silly area for Pontus Jansson to be giving away a free kick, especially so late on in the game. If Watford do go on to nick a goal, it would surely be the decider of the match, as both Dennis and Louza are standing over to give a right-footed and left-footed option from the free kick. Seems as though it's going to be Imran Louza to take. And it's actually Dennis who takes it first time and almost flies in from a really tight angle. David Raya was alert to it just about in the end, got a fingertip to tip it over the crossbar, but what an effort from Dennis.
It is, yeah. Do you think that the angle is there for the right-footed to shoot, but we'll just see from another replay if we get another one there whether or not Raya actually touched it onto the post there. It seems to me like there could have been a little flick off the post, but here comes the corner.
Corner delivered into the area. No one really wanting to claim it for Watford. It's fell all the way back out to Louza on the wing. He's been dispossessed, and Mbeumo with a heavy touch. He's lost possession. It's been brought down there by Sissoko. I think he just grabbed the hand and pulled to the ground. Will be a free kick for Brentford, give them a chance to just settle things down and just relieve some pressure that they've been under in the last 5 or so minutes. Watford growing into the game, given as late as the 89th minute.
Yeah, Watford can't give up on this. They have had a much better game plan in the second half. They've had more of a spring in their step. They've restricted what Brentford are doing, but they can't rest on their laurels now. Just 45 seconds to go before we hit injury time. So in total, maybe 5 minutes left in this game. So Watford really have to make sure they get as much as they can out of those 5 minutes.
Yeah, and Mbeumo taking his time, tying his shoelaces there as David Raya come all the way out of his penalty area to take the free kick on this near side. I'm assuming Brentford are throwing everyone forward here to try and grab a late winner. It is a long ball over towards the right hand side. Can Mbeumo just about keep it in? He does really well there, Mbeumo, just to keep the ball in. In the end, it's cleared by Samir, headed on by Josh King, and then cleverly goes for the second ball, but it's dropped down towards the feet of Christian Eriksen. He finds Rico Henry on this left hand side, who always wants to get forward. Henry, such an attacking minded fullback. He sends a long cross towards the back post, and it's almost sat nicely for Godos, but Tony tried to get the second ball, and nothing really sticking for Brentford just yet. They're still coming forward here though with Mbeumo, trying to twist and turn away from the recent introduction, Craig Cathcart. Left it back for Christian Eriksen. Now Norgard. It's worked out towards the left hand side, and Mbeumo moving forward once again. Finds Henry, goes back to Mbeumo, trying to skip in field. Plays it to Eriksen, shifted out wide to Rico Henry once again. One on one with Craig Cathcart here. Henry just trying to twist and turn away from the defender. It's a nice ball into the box, almost finds Mbeumo. Brentford are really throwing everything at Watford here. They just haven't quite been able to make it stick when in front of goal, but still in possession. Watford under so much pressure now to try and maintain this point, but they're still moving forward, Brentford. Eriksen tries to drift the ball out towards the right hand side, and Mbeumo tries to help it on towards, I think it's Godos, who tried to get on the end of it, but now it's Watford's turn. They're coming right back at them with Emmanuel Dennis. Tries to skip away from Godos. Really vital foot there from Godos, just to knock the ball out of play for a corner kick.
Yeah, well, a long spell there for Brentford in and around the Watford penalty area. Couldn't really get that decisive ball in. There was one that just seemed to be bouncing away from Tony as well. But with 3.5 minutes, we're going to have 5 minutes of injury time, by the way. We've got 3.5 of that still to play. It's a corner kick to Watford now.
Yeah, Emmanuel Dennis standing over the corner, looking like the likely taker of the set piece. He actually leaves it and allows Imran Louza to go over and take it. Whether that's a little bit of time wasting there from Watford, just to try and shore up the game and see the point. But Louza doesn't beat the first man, headed away by Norgard, and then the second header cleared by Sorensen. And Mbeumo now moving forward, finds Tony. Can Tony keep it away from Ismailia Sarr? He doesn't quite in the end. He's ambushed by yellow and black shirts. It's now with Sarr once again, moving forward. Has options out wide, does find the option. It's Emmanuel Dennis, comes back in field towards Sarr. Hits it first time, almost drops down nicely for Louza, and then Sissoko, can he quite get there? And it's off the post, and then it's followed in. It hasn't gone in. How has that not hit the back of the net? Imran Louza misses a completely open goal. There was two chances there. The first one hits the post. It goes directly straight towards the feet of Louza, who then sends it past the post.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you had Watford winning in your Accas today, you'll be absolutely furious about this, because Watford should be winning now with 2 minutes of injury time to play. Watford should be 2-1 up. Great work here from Dennis to fire that ball in. Sissoko can't get a touch on it. Pontus Jansson slides in. The initial shot comes off the post. And the only excuse I can find for Imran Louza is there is a Brentford player diving at his feet, and it's fallen onto his weaker right foot. Is that acceptable for a pro footballer from 6 yards on his weaker foot? I don't think it is. I mean, it's a small explanation of why Louza's missed it. I think you've got to give a little bit of credit there to Henry for throwing himself in front of Louza as a sort of last-ditch effort to do anything to distract him, and it's paid off. But I'm with you. I mean, that should be 2-1 to Watford now.
That's a horrific moment that could really be vital in the rest of Watford's season. A goal there could see them take all 3 points and give them much needed confidence going into vital games against Burnley, the likes of Burnley. They've got a really tough game, and Manchester City up next, which you wouldn't expect them to take points
Man City away next weekend. Then they have a game at home to Burnley, away to Palace, at home to Everton, before their final 2 games of the season, at home to Leicester and then away to Chelsea. Whereas Brentford, they play at home to Spurs next Saturday in the evening kickoff before a Monday night game on Bank Holiday Monday away at Old Trafford. But here at Vicarage Road, with less than a minute of injury time to play, Brentford now have a free kick over on the right hand side.
Yeah, you'd think if Watford took all 3 points in this game from that chance there, that really could change their season, and what a vital moment that could be. And maybe Imran Louza doesn't quite know it yet, but Hindsight's a beautiful thing as the ball's whipped into the box and it's headed away. Has it gone into the back of the net? It has. Pontus Jansson is the hero at Vicarage Road for the away side. He's turned it in from the free kick on the right hand side. And wow, we were speaking about the moment that could have been for Imran Louza, and Brentford have gone up the other end and scored.
Well, they have. I mean, less than 2 minutes after Imran Louza misses from 6 yards, Brentford steal all 3 points, and that is a big nail in the coffin of Watford's Premier League survival chances. And at the same time, it's pretty much mathematical confirmation, barring maybe 1 or 2 more points, that Brentford are going to be safe this season. I mean, the Watford fans leaving in their droves now. It doesn't surprise me. It's a harsh one on Watford. It's another Scandi goal and assist for Brentford, with Eriksen with the ball in, and Pontus Jansson with the header, and Roy Hodgson. Well, he never looks like a beaten man, but that's as close as we're going to get. We'll see if there's going to be a VAR review. I don't think there will be. It always looked to me as though Pontus Jansson was onside. It's a strong header, and Foster never really looked close to getting either to the header or to the cross in the end. Yeah, he just got the right side of the defender there, Pontus Jansson. It was really good play. Just to beat them to the ball. It's Cathcart behind him. He doesn't quite track his man. Pontus Jansson, the hero for Brentford and their mathematical safety. And what a chance that has been. And the referee has blown his whistle to signify the end of the match. Wow, it was all drama at the end as Pontus Jansson smashes and grabs all 3 points for Brentford, and it's looking even worse for Watford in the rest of their season and in their bid for survival. Certainly is a great result for Brentford in the end. They win by 2-1 at Vicarage Road. From myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz and Harry Jones, thank you very much. Join us again soon.